be showing you the way that I taught Phoenix to lay down. I taught Flicka a different way. I taught her by teaching her how to come down onto like a bough with both legs, and then she kind of wrapped her neck around and laid down from there. I didn't really like the way that turned out though, so this way that I use teaching Phoenix, and then I'm going to be teaching Nadia as well, I've broken it down into 3 steps. So when you think of how a horse lays down naturally, they kind of lower their head to the ground, then they might walk in a small circle, then they kind of walk their back feet up towards their front feet, and then they'll pop the front leg up and then kind of go down from there. So I've kind of taken those steps, and that's how I've taught Phoenix. So if you want to learn how to teach your horse to lay down, no ropes, using this method, keep watching. So the very first thing I do when I teach my horses to lay down is I teach them to lower their head to the pressure of the lead rope, just like that. So it's basically just pressure and release. Nadia kind of already knew what I was doing, so I couldn't show you how you would teach it for the first time. But grab a hold of the lead rope and just apply light, steady pressure until they drop their head just the littlest bit. Don't pull, don't yank, because that's just going to make them want to resist, and they're going to pull their head even higher up. But just apply light, steady pressure until they drop their head just the littlest bit, and then release. Completely let go of the lead rope. After they've got that figured out, then you can start asking them to lower their head further to the ground, and then ask them to hold it to the ground for longer. But that is step 1 in how you teach your horse to lay down. Step 2, once they've figured out step 1 pretty well, step 2 is where I ask my horses to walk their back feet in towards their front feet. So you can see I'm using a ground pole. That kind of discourages them from walking forward, because typically they're just going to want to walk in a circle or walk forward when you tap on their back legs. So I want them to kind of get the idea that I want their front feet to stay stationary, but I want their back feet to walk in towards their front feet. So if they go to step over the pole, ask them to back up. And then my cue spot is just back down on their hind leg. And just very light tapping, don't hit, don't smack. And then anytime they walk their feet in, positive reinforcement, then stand up and walk away. My camera battery was dying, so I wasn't able to stand up and walk away every time, but that's definitely important if you want them to learn quickly. And I had already done another session with Nadia, so she kind of already figured it out. So don't get discouraged if your horse isn't walking their back feet all the way up towards their front feet at first. It does take a lot of balance. And there you can see she kind of falls forward, which eventually will lead into a lay down. But that is step 2. Don't get frustrated. Stay patient with them, and they should figure it out pretty quickly if you're using positive reinforcement and release of pressure. So then step 3, once they've figured out how to walk their back feet in with the pole there, then you can bring them out into the middle of the arena and take that away. They will want to come forward more, but you can use the lead rope and just communicate with them that you still want exactly the same thing as when the pole was in front of them. So at first reward just the teeniest step in with their back legs, and then pretty soon they should start to figure out and will walk those back feet all the way back up. Basically, you're just going to follow through with this 3rd step until they commit to laying down. There you can see she kind of raises up her front foot, so she is thinking about laying down, but it is hard for them to lay down on cue. It does make them nervous because they're very vulnerable when they lay down, and so it does take them quite a while. You know, for some horses it may be a couple sessions, for some it may be a couple months worth of sessions. It just depends. So keep your sessions short. Don't get frustrated, because they will get frustrated and it just turns into a big battle, and you do not want that. So hopefully that helped a little bit. I know it wasn't the best. I'm hopefully going to put out another tutorial with a big horse later this summer. But for now, this will at least give you guys something to start on. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe so you can see all the other videos I put out this summer, and we'll see you later.